Gang, Patrick King here, coming to you live from Cazenovia, New York, teaching the next couple days at Canterbury Stables here in Cazenovia. Today's question comes to us from Angel, and Angel says, I have a very reluctant horse. She's a 4.5-year-old quarter horse. When we're loping, she ignores my leg. She pushes through my leg and cuts across the arena when we come to pass corners. She also likes to stop, and it's hard to get her going again. What exercises should I do for my horse? So what I want you to think about, Angel, and anybody who has this challenge, anytime we put our leg on our horse, we're basically asking, what does this aid mean to you in this moment? Okay? And in this moment that we're talking about, when Angel's loping her horse around and she's pushing through the leg, pushing into the center of the arena, when we put the leg on, basically it's not ignoring. She's telling us exactly what the leg means to her in that moment, which is nothing, right? Jack squat, right? This is further evidenced by when the horse wants to stop, she's asking for her to go again, and there is no go, right? So there's no motivator. So the horse is basically telling us she doesn't understand the leg to mean anything that involves movement or yielding in that instance. Or in that situation. So what we need to do, not so much as an exercise per se, but going back philosophically, we need to say, hey, let's educate to the leg. Okay? So what I would do, I like to think about the way Charles de Cunfee talks about the rider's aids. He says the seat initiates, the leg motivates, and the rein validates. Okay? So said another way, the seat says, let's go here, or let's do this. The leg says, give me more. And the rein says, yes, that's right, or no, not quite. Okay? So in these moments, we want to make sure first that the horse is starting to feel off and understand our seat. Okay? Now, if the horse is not understanding that, then we need to back that up with something I kind of refer to it as reverse aid education. All right, if we want the horse to respond to the seat, we need to make sure they understand the leg so that we have a reinforcement, right? And when we're introducing our leg, we need to make sure that they understand the rein so that we have a reinforcement to the leg, right? It kind of goes down the chain of command, so to speak. So what I would start with is the leg maybe against my horse in a hindquarter position, okay? So let's start with the outside leg, right? So our outside leg is a little bit back. I'm going to touch with my leg, and it's a touch. It's not a squeeze, okay? So for anybody out there saying, oh, my horse is dull to my leg, my horse is dead to my leg, never in the history of horsemanship have we been able to get a horse light to our leg by being heavy with our leg. It's just a foolish idea. So this idea of more leg, more leg, more leg, more leg, it's crazy, okay? So what I want to think about, we're going to go back to Angel's horse here. I'm going to put my leg, my outside leg, back slightly toward the horse's hip. Now, my leg is a request, but my whip is a reinforcement, okay? Now, keep in mind, too, the whip has a lash on it, made for tickling, not made for beating. It's not a beater stick, right? It's a reinforcement. It's more of a pointer, so to speak. So I'm going to put my leg back there, and I'm going to touch my leg against the horse's side, okay? Kind of toward the flank on the back side of the barrel. I'm just going to touch with my leg there, and I'm going to wait a moment, and we're standing still. If the horse does not respond to that, then I'm going to reach back and tickle behind my leg with the whip, and then I'll start to tap slightly until I get the response I'm looking for, but never at any point on that am I going to increase my leg pressure, because, again, we cannot get a horse light to the leg by being heavy with the leg, all right? We're just telling our horse in that instance that we're lying to them, okay? So I'm going to make sure that I can get the hindquarters stepping both ways, doing that, both sides, using that idea, the leg to initiate, or the leg to request, and the whip to reinforce. Then from there, I'll try to take the body apart a little more. I'll reach my leg up right at the girth, right? Just slightly behind the girth. So it'd be more of an inside leg position. And I'm going to touch with my leg there, the same way that I just touched with the outside leg. And if the horse doesn't respond, then I'm going to first tickle and then tap with the whip until we get the response. As soon as we get the response, my leg is going to immediately relax off of the horse, and the whip is going to immediately stop. The horse will learn through a series of repetitions maybe one time, maybe 100 times, depends on how desensitized we've gotten our horse to the leg at this point. But the horse will learn that they can teach me not to tap with the whip by moving when I apply the soft pressure with my leg. Okay? So again, we're going back to the very basic foundation in this case. Now, is it showing up at the canter? Of course it's showing up at the canter because we don't have it at the standstill, right? And so it's just going to express more at the canter. Whatever we have at a higher gait, we also have at a lower gait. We just aren't necessarily aware of it in that moment, okay? So once I've got my horse doing that, moving the hindquarters, moving the shoulders, then I might come partway between and see if I can get the rib cage to move left and right, because that's where I feel like Angel's horse is probably really misunderstanding as far as our corners, is that she's not understanding the moving the rib cage over kind of into the corner. We talk about the horse bending around the inside leg. This is sort of what we're talking about right here, that inside leg helping to influence the rib cage, okay? So the idea of an exercise, not necessarily an exercise, it's just basically going back to the basics and reiterating to the horse, this is what my leg means. Okay, so once the leg is meaning that, then we want to think about being more aware with our seat. Of course, when we're talking about using our legs, we can reinforce with the reins if we need to, shortening on an inside rein or opening on an outside rein for moving the hindquarters and the shoulders respectively. But once the horse's understanding of the leg, then we can generally phase the rein out, always being ready to support with the rein if necessary, but we wouldn't go to it as a first option. Once that's understood, then I'm going to start using just my seat. I'm going to think about shifting my spine, maybe shifting my body slightly out, not really pushing, just kind of riding in the direction that I want to go. If the horse does not follow, because remember, the seat initiates. The seat says, let's go here, or let's do this. If the horse doesn't follow, then I might close the reins in front to say, hey, I want you to move, but not necessarily out the front, not necessarily forward. I want you to come sideways with me here. And the leg will then also motivate to say, but I want energy to continue happening. Okay, so again, the idea of the horse blowing through the leg and the horse not wanting to move forward once they stop, it's all an idea that the horse is not yet educated to what the leg actually means when we're under saddle. So hopefully, Angel, this has been helpful for you and your horse. Hopefully this is kind of some helpful philosophy for any of you out there that are having this challenge with your horse. The biggest thing I want you to keep in mind is that never in the history of horsemanship have we been able to get a horse light to the leg by being heavy with the leg. All right? And we want to think the leg is a request, the whip is a reinforcement, not in a beating way, not in a shoving, pushing kind of a way, but in a reinforcing way to help the horse understand so that they can teach us not to tap or tickle with the whip by responding to the leg aids. So if this has been helpful to you, please give us a like, a share, a comment in the comment section below. If you've got some friends that maybe need to hear this advice, either tag them directly in the comments below or share this video with them. I'd really appreciate that, and hopefully their horses will appreciate that and will become a little better educated as a result of this different philosophy here. Okay, so let's see, question of the day. Question of the day. I don't know. I saw a meme today. I think it was an Instagram post or something like that, asking what tool that you use with your horses could you not do without? What piece of tack could you not do without? You just couldn't possibly function without this piece of tack. I'm curious to hear your answers. Give me that in the comments section below the video here. Don't forget, gang, send in your questions. You can send them through email. You can send them through a direct message. You can send them here in the comments section below this video. You keep sending in your questions, and I'll keep talking about horses. Thanks so much.